lot of you don't even know who you are. And you're trying to validate your own self-worth through other people who don't know jack about you. And that is a dangerous game to play. When I said less than 5 minutes, I really meant less than 5 minutes. So let's dive in. Look, I want to have this conversation because I think it's important for all of us to really understand where we stand when it comes to relationships. And I'm not just talking about romantic relationships. I'm talking about the relationships that we have in our life, right? So whether it be family, friends, colleagues, and romantic relationships, there's a certain dynamic that you're going to have with one that you won't have with the other. But what is the main point or the point of focus, if you will, is who you are. How do you show up? I talk about this a lot, and that, a lot of us have to go through a healing journey and a healing process in order to receive better than what we've received in the past, right? So in a lot of ways, the things that happen to us are not our fault. However, we do have the responsibility to be an active participant in our healing process. And we can't just assign blame to this person, that person, or when we start getting into these generalities about men and women and they're like this and they're like that. And in some degrees you may be right, but at the end of the day, the only person that you can control is you and how you perceive things and how you choose to receive things. And so this is what we're going to talk about a little bit. I'm going to read off a thread that I commented on because there was this particular gentleman who just was so hard pressed on blaming women for the ills of the world, if you will, or the reason why men act the way they do. And I'm like, wait, hold on a minute. Let's pump the brakes. So you're saying we are at fault for everything bad that happens to you? No, I'm not going to have that. But let me get into this thread and some of the responses that came from it, and I'll get to what I actually said. So the thread starts like this. Insecure men eagerly place themselves in the dating pool when dating should be the last thing on their agenda. So let me just read back that sentence because I have to read it in a way in which you guys can understand it. So insecure men eagerly place themselves in the dating pool when dating should be the last thing on their agenda. I tell women all the time, the reason why you're struggling with the pool is because it's too shallow and it isn't made for a woman seeking security and depth. Now, my interpretation of that is exactly what he says. If you're looking for a specific thing and you know the dating pool is outside of what you're looking for, don't go in it because you're not going to find what you're looking for. At least that's the summation of what I've gotten from his post. And he's absolutely right. So, if you're looking for security, if you're looking for depth, meaning someone with character, someone with layers, someone who can really navigate the nuances of being in a relationship or being in relations with people, not the other relations. What I'm talking about is how we relate to each other, different personalities, different temperaments. If you're looking for someone who can, really navigate that, and you're swimming in the pool of insecurity, what are you expecting? Like, that is really the definition of insanity, that you're looking for a different outcome than what actually is. So, take your time, hold back, really discern who you're dealing with or the type of people that you're dealing with. And if it's not what you're looking for, then you have a choice to make, which is to step outside of what that environment is and find a different environment. Just logic, it's no rocket science here. So another gentleman comments and says, so what's the solution? Where's the deep end? And a young lady responded to this gentleman by saying, get out the pool, rest, eat a snack, sunbathe, read a book, maybe play in the grass, but don't get back in the pool or go near the deep end until you've taken care of yourself first. That's the solution. So just in a nutshell, if you know that you're dealing with certain trauma, certain insecurities, certain fears, the responsible thing for you to do is to really get out of the dating scene and address these things, right? So that's essentially what this young lady is saying. And until you feel like you've done the healing journey, you've healed enough, whatever enough is for you, then you can go back into the dating pool. Again, let me caution this by saying don't go back to what was or what you don't like. Look for something different. Look, and you'll be expecting different anyway. You'll see that this side did not appeal to you anymore. Once you've gone through the healing process, once you've done the self-care, you'll realize that, you not only do you expect more, but you deserve more, right? And I'm not coming from a sense of entitlement, but a sense of like, I've taken enough care of myself. So now let me just do what is really on my level, right? So the gentleman responds with, women ain't doing that. Now, right from that response, I already know that this person is argumentative. He's not looking for a healthy dialogue. He's looking for someone to agree with what he's saying or the perspective in which he's taking. So right when I saw that, I said, oh boy, I hope none of these women take the bait, because this is baiting. Okay, this is like complete, I'm gonna try and pull you into an argument and beat you by experience because I know that you're emotional, right? So the same young lady responded, LOL, you sure? Then why is there a male loneliness epidemic? Google is free. We've been chilling and waiting for y'all to figure it out for yourselves. That's why you're asking for a solution, ... And then the gentleman replies, women are the ones online complaining, not men. Let's pause here. That is not true. We have to be very careful with the way we deliver our points of view. I'm not saying you can't have one. I'm just saying be mindful of how you deliver it. So this gentleman is saying that, women are the only ones complaining online. That's not true. Women complain, men complain, and it's not all men and it's not all women. So let's be clear on how we deliver that point of view. So he's partially right, but not completely right. And the danger with giving these generalizations is that, and I want you guys to hear me on this and let it marinate for 2 seconds before you think like, what is she saying? What? No. When we deliver generalizations like that, where we include everyone, we are very likely, like 99.9% of the time, likely to be wrong. Now, study psychology, hypotheticals. I've done a paper on that. I don't know why people ask hypotheticals, because 50% of the time you're lying. Okay, but we won't put that into the discussion. We can talk about that another time. But just know that whenever you answer a hypothetical, there's a 50% chance that you're lying. Even if you feel within every fiber of your being that the statement you're making is true, it's likely not. So then the young lady asks, why are you here asking for a solution? His response is, I'm not asking for a solution. I already have it. I've always had the solution. So right there, you know that this guy is here to poke the bear. He's trolling. He's just trolling. And he's looking to suck one young lady into an argument, if not multiple young ladies into an argument, just to satisfy his ego. And it's all due respect to this gentleman. I'm not trying to cut him down or anything like that, but I've seen this so often where, for lack of a better explanation, the individual is bored. And so they're like, let me just entertain myself by picking an argument. Because I promise you that this guy, the entire time, was sitting there on his phone, laughing his ASS off at these responses, because it really does trigger something in a woman when a man will say, oh, y'all are like this, y'all like that. What I advise to a lot of people is just, again, take that time for you to really develop a sense of awareness when it comes to doing exchanges and dialogues with people. Because I just said to you, like two comments or 3 comments above that, I was like, ooh, this guy's looking for an argument. He's looking for someone to pick on. And so he just revealed himself in that by saying, I'm not asking for a solution. I've already had it. I know what the solution is. So this is a very common tactic that, with all due respect, insecure men do, because they want to bring you down to their level and then beat you by experience. So I'm not going to continue reading the responses between him and this other young lady, but I'll just fast forward to mine, because I'm very slow to respond to things like this. I want to look and see what people are talking about. If the original poster is, clarifying and giving context. If they don't, why is that? We play a lot of games here on social media. I get it. Not hating on it either. But I'm very slow to respond to conversations like this, because I want to see how people are thinking. Where are they taking their responses? Do they provide context, etc.? So when I saw that this gentleman was argumentative, I just wanted to bring in, a neutralizer, so that the young ladies who are responding in these comments start to understand a little bit of, what's happening here, and redirect their focus to what actually matters. So my response is, this is a conversation about self-worth, and it's for everyone. We can't change others, but we can change ourselves. Focus on developing the character traits that you want to see. When you do that, you'll recognize the like-minded and ignore those who aren't on your level. The back and forth is useless. Take responsibility for how you show up in the world and make necessary adjustments where needed. So what do I mean by that? If it wasn't evidently clear what I just said, is that the blame game is useless. And when you decide to work on yourself, when you decide to adopt and exhibit the very things that you are looking for in the opposite sex, then when you encounter people who don't have it, number one, you will recognize it right away and not even waste your time. And you'll gravitate and also attract those who are like you. We always talk about energy all the time and, vibrations, all of this. At the end of the day, when you carry yourself a certain way, there's certain people who will not mess with you, because they'll look at you and be like, that's too much work for me. I don't want it. There'll be others who will try you just to see how grounded you are in what you believe, what your principles are, and your standards, etc. And that's the true test to know if you actually stand 10 toes down in what you believe in and how you carry yourself and what you expect to to come into your life, and what isn't meeting those expectations you reject. That's the test. So some may fail, some may succeed. And then you have the others who are exactly like you, and everything will feel organic and seamless. And there won't be a question of, well, is this person like, or it'll be clear. It'll be clear. So this is basically what I was talking about, in the sense of focus on you, focus on what you want to see in the world. You know, they have that saying that be the change that you want to see in the world. That's exactly what I was talking about. And then, you know, don't engage in the back and forth. It's useless. And if you need to make adjustments, and I mean, we all need to make adjustments at certain points in our lives. We might think, oh, this is what I really want, and then realize, that might not be exactly what I actually wanted. And you make the adjustments according to your journey, according to your plans, your experiences, etc. So this gentleman replies to me by saying, so are you saying that men have more self-worth than women? Did y'all catch any of that in what I just said? Did I question whether the self-worth of men is superior to women or vice versa? Or did I not say that the conversation was for everyone? In other words, I'm encouraging self-reflection. So, like I said, I already knew this guy was argumentative. I wanted to bring a neutralizer into the conversation so that I could calm, you know, the fires down a little bit, because it can very easily get into a back and forth where now we start calling each other names. Like, what is the point? What is the point? So with that, I responded, if that's the conclusion you've drawn based on my response, then sure, peace be unto you. Now, the reason why I responded that way is to let you know that I ain't the one. I am not the one that you want to pick a fight with, because you will lose. And the reason why you'll lose is because I already see you. I see what you're about. I see what you're attempting to do. And at the end of the day, I've done way too much work on myself to really allow myself to be baited into old patterns. Back in the day, like, I'm telling you, if this was like 15, 20 years ago, oh yeah, me and him would be going back and forth. You're dumb, this, that, and you want to blame women for na 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 na, and you got to do da 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 da. Nah. If I just wrote something that was so neutral and so general, and you picked up that men are better than women in a particular department, then I know that you're just looking for someone not only to agree with you, but then also pick a fight with. And I like I said, I'm not the one. I'm way too mature, done way too much work on myself to be sucked into a conversation like this. And I gave him the smiley face, because for me, it's like, may the blessings of the Lord be with you. 'Cause I ain't doing it. I ain't doing it. So listen, let's get it into the nitty gritty, because I know that was a little bit of a lengthy explanation, but you guys really needed context to understand where I'm coming from in this conversation. I've mentioned several things already that should be clear through this thread. Number one, work on yourself. Number two, heal. If you're having a hard time in the dating scene, maybe it's time to just take a break and focus on you. I find that a lot of people don't enjoy their season of singleness because they feel like the season is torture. And I'm saying, nah, it's not torture. Understand who you are. A lot of you don't even know who you are. And you're trying to validate your own self-worth through other people who don't know jack about you. And that is a dangerous game to play. So take that time to just look into the things that you enjoy doing. Like, when's the last time you did something fun for you? I'm not talking about shopping. Shopping ain't it. I'm talking about hobbies that you may have neglected for the last 5 to 10 years because you were busy doing X, Y, Z. A trip that you've always wanted to take, but for whatever reason you put it off. something new, a new skill that you wanted to try, but oh my God, I'm too busy. No, 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 no. These are the moments. These are the moments where you take those things that you've put on the back burner, look at that list and say, you know what? I'm going to try this today and see where it takes you. Because sometimes I think when we are too intentional on dating and finding the right person, we set ourselves up for disaster because we have this hypervigilance. Like, is it him? Is it her? No. Chill. Y'all be taking the dating thing too seriously, and not enough time is being spent on what do I value? How do I want to be treated? How do I take these things and build them for myself? Like, y'all be making these general statements too, like I want a good man, I want a good woman. What is that? What is that? Start writing down those character traits. And once you've got those character traits down, I want you now to start living out those character traits. Because you can't attract somebody with certain character traits that don't exist in you, because they won't be looking at you, love. They won't be looking at you. So whatever it is that you've written down, I want you now to start exercising that in your life. Make it a part of your routine. It might sound ridiculous to some of you, but again, I say the person who possesses these character traits ain't looking for you if you don't have them. Plain and simple. And then, because a lot of us tend to focus on the physical. Ladies, I'll just go on us because I'm not a man, so I don't know what a man focuses on. But for us, we always want the guy with the 6-figure or the 7-figure, 8-figure salary. We want the guy with the nice body, in shape, taking care of himself. And my question to you always is, are you doing the same thing? Are you doing the same thing? Now, the salary thing, I want to leave that alone because I see there's a lot of discussion and ego positioning that's happening when it comes to what a person makes and what they bring to the table. I really hate that phrase. Honestly, it gets on my nerves. But I'm going to go to the physical aspect of things. A guy who takes care of himself physically does several things. 1, he has a healthy diet. 2, he has a routine. And 3, he has discipline. Now, if you ain't doing all 3, don't be asking for a man with a 6-pack. You ain't gonna get it. I just finished saying to you now that the things that you are looking for, you need to have them within you too. Like attracts like. So if you ain't in the gym, but he in the gym, you know what's going to happen? And I've seen this before. I've even seen it with my brother in a past relationship as well. The other person becomes resentful. Oh, you're always going to the gym. Da, da, da. Honey, when you met me, I was going to the gym. Why am I supposed to change up now because I'm with you? You look like an anchor and not a good one. You're like more ball and chain. So if a man is going to feel like you're going to hold him back, you're going to hold him down from doing the things that he's always been doing, he won't get with you. Let's make that clear. And you should have the same energy for yourself. If a man is not going to treat you well, in whatever that criteria is of treating you well, if he's not going to speak to you with respect, if he's not going to honor his promises, whatever promises that he makes, if he is not going to hold you in a high regard, why are you wasting your time with him? Let him go. Let him look for the other woman who wants to be disrespected, who's okay with, being second, or who's okay with, being inconvenienced every single time, who's okay with broken promises. That ain't you, sis. That ain't you. So If it really ain't you, stop wasting time with these guys. And then number 2, stop complaining about them. And this goes for men too. Stop complaining about the people you will never date. I don't see the reason why you would complain about girls who are active out here, girls who feel entitled. Okay, we get it. We know they exist. Who cares? Who cares? Ladies, I get it. I get the guys who want to serve community D. I get that there are guys who are extremely selfish and insecure. I get the guys who want to gaslight you because in doing that makes them feel better about themselves. I get it. Why do we care? Why do we care if the man is broke and can't even take care of himself? What is the point? What is the point? It's not what you want, right? Fellas, it's not what you want? Okay, we done with that. Let's move on. Let's talk about the healthy things that we want to see in each other. And then find those people, and you're not going to find it in the environments that you're in. The reason why you keep complaining about no good men, no good women is because you keep putting yourself in situations and environments that are familiar, even if they're toxic, and you're expecting a different result. And I'm telling you, you're not going to get that. You're not going to get that. So at the end of the day, go and heal, figure out this stuff. Therapy is not taboo anymore. I don't care what anybody else says. Therapy does some good. So if you go and talk to somebody about the things that you're dealing with so they can help you find solutions to better your life, do that instead of coming online and complaining, instead of getting in threads like this and chiming off because you don't want to take accountability for your own healing. I think anybody who comes on and they start complaining about no good men, no good women, and rah and be picking fights online, their account should be deactivated. Honestly, that's how I feel, because it's like you're not bringing anything worthwhile or positive to the conversation. So take care of yourself. Make sure that you address some of your deepest wounds, deepest traumas, and start working through getting to the other side of that before you want to include another human being who has their own set of issues, their own set of traumas, and you guys want to combine and create a life together. That's important. So, at the end of the day, there is nothing wrong with taking time for yourself, spending time by yourself, getting to know who you are and what you like and what you don't like, and making the necessary adjustments and healing before you get back out there into the world and want to share your time and space with someone. I think if more people started doing that, we'd start to see a good shifting of the tide. But, unfortunately, there are still some who are sitting there wanting to complain and wanted to blame and shame others for the things that they're going through, and you don't even realize that you're projecting. The very issues you're complaining about are the issues that you probably have within you. So, again, I want to encourage everybody to really take time for themselves and examine what's going on with them. Address the things that have happened to you. For some of you, it may be deep, deep trauma from your family. For a lot of us, myself included, I've addressed a lot of trauma in my family and in my immediate family. But you know what? The things that have happened to me have happened. We can't change that. What I can change is how I, move forward. How do I see the world? How do I want to see the world? How do I work on myself in order to see the things that I want to see, and continue to just press forward and not look back with a sense of, oh, woe is me, but look back to see that I've overcame all of that crap, because we got a lot. We got a lot, every single one of us. But to say that, you know what, I've moved on from that. I've forgiven people because of that. I'm able to hold myself at a particular standard as a result of that. And just move on. Just live a beautiful life. You don't even know how much longer you have here on this earth, and you're spending it complaining? Like, come on, y'all. So listen, I hope you guys got something out of this, because it just breaks my heart to see the back and forth. Like, honestly, it breaks my heart to see the back and forth, because all of us have the potential to be great, maybe are great, and just can't recognize it for ourselves. We don't like the person we see in the mirror. But I'm praying that a majority of you who may be watching this, will watch this, will say to themselves, you know what? I see some points that she's making here. And, you know, maybe today's the day that I just decide to choose me for the moment and forget about everything else and fix myself. Right? And again, it's not to chastise. It's not to disrespect or insult anyone. We all have something that we can work on. And I'm just encouraging you guys to do that. All right. You guys take care. This was interesting. I hope truly, truly you got something out of this. Okay. So till next time, you guys take care. Have a great, great weekend. Peace.